Welcome back, everyone. Rather than starting from title screen, we're going to load that save state that we made so long ago. Because if y'all recall, last time in our height lock, using only Pokemon 2 feet tall or shorter, we managed to wipe. But I remain convinced that this is possible. I am going to shake up the names a little bit, I think. My starter Pokemon this time will be Sweatshorts. And let's take a look at Sweatshorts. Welcome to the stream, last-born child. We are starting fresh once again. Okay, time for How 1. Luckily, I remember how to do this early game stuff pretty well. And we did improve on the plan for the early game last time we managed to clear it. So here's hoping that we don't have to go through too many resets here. Okay, we've got our Pokeball. Let's get our guaranteed Pick-a-Peck encounter. And as it's always been named, this one will be named Cutoff. Now let's take a look at Cutoff stats. Neutral all around, you know what? That works. We'll run back and forth until we get some bug encounters. Well, that's attempt 12. That thing must have been really slow, if that's what happened, so I'm not gonna be too fussed about that. We were getting outsped by a Pick-a-Peck that was a level lower than us, and at this stage, a level should mean a lot. Okay, and title updated. Let's see the new Sweatshorts. Minus special attack, plus defense, that's not bad. It'll be annoying to deal with the minus special attack in the early game, but once we get Fire Fang as our main stab, should be fine. Okay. Luckily, we do have this handy save state back at the start of the game that'll save us some time. So yeah, to recap, because it has been a minute since we were in this early game purgatory, after getting Litten and Pick-a-Peck, we go ahead and train up to, I think it was level 7 for the How 1 fight. Then, not long after, or How 2, welcome to the stream, B Marching. After How 2, we get a our chance to prep for the first big challenge, which is the fight with Teacher Emily. Teacher Emily is the reason that we're running sweat shorts instead of board shorts as our starter. How am I not getting away? How slow is this version of Cutoff? We got a plus speed nature and a minus attack. You know what? I'm not going to deal with minus attack nature for this run. At this stage, we can afford to save scum a little bit, and I'd rather get a decent start than have to deal with bad stats on one of my main Pokemon for an extended period. Just for these two. So, sweat shorts. Plus speed, minus special defense, that's doable. So yeah, the first major challenge is Teacher Emily. Once we manage to get through her, we have to take some big risks to try and get through Ilima. We have improved our strat for it, so I'm still hopeful. That's about it. That's all I got. And you have a neutral nature. That'll work well enough. You're still slow as heck. To be fair, Pick-a-Peck is one of the slower basic birds. So yeah, target level right now, I believe, is 8. Well, 7, then we'll clear out the trainers on the way to Iki Town for the festival. Well, then 8. And for the record, I did adjust my playlist for this attempt. I've now got 2 playlists, one for chill video game music and one for intense video game music. So when we're prepping for boss fights, I'll pull out one of the more intense ones. But during our grinding sessions like this, I think we can afford to just go with the chill version. And I did add a new Pokemon, or a new song into the chill video game music playlist, so I wonder if we'll get to hear it today. Okay, we've got that cleared out. Got our team healed up. And we'll deal with this guy. And you, why not? I run back and forth through this area kind of a lot, so I figure it's worth just clearing out the opponents that I'm stuck dealing with. Sadly, there's not too much to say about this. Like, we already more or less cracked the early fights. Like, there's still some luck involved, but we can at least do them more often than not now, just by knowing how to prep. Okay, we'll be leading Sweat Shorts into this because he's got a Pikachu. Or is it just a Pichu right now? I think it might just be a Pichu. Of course, there's always a chance that we get a hold of a Pichu, but as we've seen so far, the game really likes to give us Yungoos in Howley City. Yep, ready to go. I wish we could name our rival in this one. I would totally name How Nepotism. Just because it would be pretty fitting. Given he seems to only be in his position because his grandpa is the island Kahuna. Come to think of it, that's a bit of a recurring theme these days. Next day... Okay, switch up the team order for a moment. Just gotta keep zipping through this. Okay, I got my little backpack dangle. Gotta skim through the Pokemon Center tutorial, and then we can finally hit the trainer school. Okay. Turn off that XP share for the moment. We could probably deal with it, but there's no real point. You're up first, and we can pretty easily peck your Metapod to death. Heal. We'll take on you. Our Pikipeks are the same level, so there is a chance that I have to switch, but it looks like I outspeed. Of course it was a speed tie. Alright, that was just dumb on my part. Oh wait. I meant to load the state. And now we're on attempt 15. I should probably stop rushing this and just try to actually play intelligently. Oh. Well, I accidentally didn't name Sweat Shorts, but we all know that our Litten's name is Sweat Shorts. I'll fiddle with it at some point. Really loving the minus special... Like, the game is really loving the minus special attack natures on Litten. cut off. Welcome to the team. Minus attack nature. Nah, not dealing with it. Attempt 16. Okay, I'm just giving all neutral natures. Alright. I accidentally forgot to switch Ember into the first slot. Wait, did I even look at this Sweat Shorts nature? Hang on. Again, minus special attack. I wonder how RNG works in this game. Like, is it giving the same RNG calls over and over again? Plus attack, minus speed. You know what? I'll deal with it. I know that minus speed is going to screw me over somewhere down the line, but I'm just not going to worry about it at the moment. It might not even wait until it's down the line. It might just get cut off, killed during one of these early training matches. Like, I'm getting outsped by a Caterpie before it uses String Shot. For those who are wondering why I took 2 streams off from Pokemon after the last wipe, this is it. This is why. I wasn't quite ready to come back to this. I don't know if it's possible to be ready to come back to this, but you know what? We're doing it anyway. Okay, we're getting there. Oh, heal me. I realize I'm zooming, but heal me. Oh, I do love the Clocktown theme. So yeah, at present, there are a couple of main points to our strategy for Ilima, assuming we get there. The first point is simply how we handle our encounter in Hau'oli City. The only thing we can do to impact that encounter is deciding whether we get the encounter during the day or at night. I am going to get the encounter during the day because that will give us access to whatchamacallit. A daytime encounter gives us a pretty good chance of getting Yungoos as our option. And while that does lock us out of a couple of an area later on, getting Yungoos gives us access to Sand Attack, which gives us a way to make setup against Ilima's Yungoos a whole lot safer. Okay, we're all the way up to level 8. Sweat. We're gonna get a free heal right before the battle, so there's no point in going back to Mom. Best case scenario, we finish it in 2 shots, and finish it in 2 shots. There we go. In case it's not clear, I'm mashing A and B to deal with all of the random choose an option things that come up. That way I have even less need to think. You know what, I'm just gonna leave the XP share on because we are going to want some experience before we take on Teacher Emily. Really? Really? Well, that's that minus speed nature coming back to bite us. Oh, welcome to the stream, Jay. Is Jay a kind of shorts? Because that's the naming theme we've been rolling with. Naming... You know what? We did just have to start up a fresh stream. We'll see how it works. Our starter can be Jay Shorts. And we'll see if that gives us just the amount of luck that we need. I need to update the title. So, breaking our naming convention, but our starter is now J Shorts. Yeah, welcome to the stream. We are back in the early game purgatory because we wiped to the ghost type trial. Because that Totem Mimikyu is brutal. Plus speed, minus defense. We can work with that. You would accept Jorts? Tell you what, we'll go with the next one. We'll go with that for the next one. So now we have to do a lot of text mashing. Because unfortunately there's a pretty high chance to fail early in this. And there's not too much we can actually do about it. As always, our Pick-a-Peck will be cut off. Cut off Shorts. Welcome to the team. Please be good enough that you don't die. Minus speed plus special defense. You know what? I'm just not even going to bother. These minus speed natures have been screwing us over so much. There, we'll get to fix the name. We'll get to name our Litten Jorts. Neutral nature, I'll take it. So much button mashing to do. Oh, and we're on to attempt 17, or attempt 18, so... what? I'm gonna hyphenate this one. Maybe that's just the luck we need. A hyphenated name. Never mind, it's not. Attempt 19. The thing is, all we need is a couple of things to go decently well for us to make it through the early game, but we're not getting any of those. We're consistently getting bad luck. Okay, we've got another adamant one. That was the same as gym shorts from run 11. And that is the last of my orange soda. Plus speed, you know what? We can work with that. I don't like the minus special defense, but it's usable at least. Hang on, how bad is our speed? Even with plus speed nature... Hold up. I want to check something. So, alright, we're gonna close this real quick. Because I need to check something. Yeah, speed IV of 1 cancels out the plus speed nature pretty effectively. So... attempt number 20! So just give my Pick-a-Peck a neutral nature, please. I have done one other height lock. It was in Pokemon Y, it was the original height lock, and it worked out, partly because Pokemon Y is a significantly easier game. Almost attacked it. That would have been an instant reset. But yeah, that one worked out pretty well. Surprisingly, the lineup for potential encounters in Pokemon Y probably wasn't as good. Minus defense, we're not gonna survive with that. There's just no chance. To be fair, I have never played Pokemon Sun or Moon before until this run, until this challenge. Pokemon X and Y are pretty close to the easiest games in the franchise to Nuzlocke. And the Alola games are inarguably the hardest. Fortunately, we are dealing with a minus special attack nature here, which will get a bit annoying, but we can work around it. I've done plenty of other Nuzlocks, but only height locks in those two games. And the reason I picked this game was just that it has so many cool Pokemon that I've really never gotten to use. At the same time, that doesn't make the challenge easy. Minus attack? Really? Just give me a freaking neutral nature. How can I be this consistently off? It's okay. We're just getting through all of the bad RNG. Before we actually get a run rolling. That will guarantee that whatever run winds up working out and getting farther will be inherently blessed. Got a bit of a slow Litten here, which could be a bit annoying later on, but I think we can work with it. Okay, we got our slow Litten. Now, in exchange, give us our neutral-natured Pick-a-Pack. Honestly, this is probably the best day that I could be doing all of this early grinding. Yes, neutral nature, I'll take it. Just because I'm a tad smooth-brained today. I could already tell when I was out driving around doing the shopping earlier, like, my brain isn't really firing on all cylinders. So having my only job during the stream be primarily mindless grinding and dealing with battles that I've worked out before makes things a bit more manageable. So, odds are, since Litten is minus speed, we'll be setting up cutoff for the sweep against Ilima, which should be pretty doable. Though it does come with its set of downsides, because cutoff is the only one. Cutoff learns Growl, Litten does not, Jorts does not. And Growl is part of our setup strats at the moment, so we might have to work with something a little bit different. It's just we really want whoever gets set up to have enough speed to potentially outrun Smeargle, Ilima's Smeargle in the back. And that is not an easy feat, because that Smeargle is pretty quick. That's about its one trait. It's not bulky, it doesn't hit as hard as you would expect a fully evolved Pokemon to do, but it is quick. Okay. Now we'll get Jorts up to level 7. And go clear out the trainers along Route 1. I will say this run wouldn't be worth it without speed up tools. It just wouldn't. There's too much resetting. Maybe if you decided to fiddle with the rule set a little bit. And like, it's definitely doable if it's not a hardcore Nuzlocke, because any regular Nuzlocke can be cheesed just by over-leveling. But without speed up tools, this would be taking a lot longer than it is. I'm actually curious how fast a battle is without speed up. So we're not on speed up anymore, we're just normal speed. We got this whole opening cutscene. We send out our Pokemon. Select our move. Yeah, see, this is already stretched to about 30 seconds. Going as fast as I possibly can. Alright, Jorts. Time to fight a Pikachu. Or a Pichu. I keep thinking it's a Pikachu, but no. We got a free heal. Luckily, the 2-hit KO seems surprisingly consistent against that Pichu. Is this not set to shuffle? I could have sworn it's not set to shuffle. And now for possibly the biggest chunk of button mashing yet. Okay, time to do a little bit more training. Rattatas are really good targets for us since they buff our speed. And Caterpie gives HP EVs. Speed, HP, and attack. That's pretty much all we can get here at night, and that's pretty much all we want on our team right now. So I think we just learned Rock Smash. Nice. Get a little bit of extra XP on here. We want to be pushing level 10. Pretty sure we want the team at level 11 for Teacher Emily. Oh, I think we just hit level 10 on Litten. But I've been rolling with level 10 for the trainers. Speaking of being smooth-brained, earlier today, I took a look at something in in Tears of the Kingdom because I was curious. So, not long ago, I was having issues because I had hit the maximum arrow count, which never happened to me in Breath of the Wild. It was never something I had to deal with because they had all the different types of arrows, whereas they handle it differently in Tears of the Kingdom. But yeah, I had maxed out my arrows, so I was occasionally just not able to pick up new arrow drops that happened. And since that took place, I've been pretty generous with my arrow expenditures in that game because I just had so many of them. Well, I took a look earlier today and I was all the way back to about 100. The maximum arrows are 999. I had gotten down to about 1/10 of that just by not bothering to pick up arrows in a lot of places, and then spending a lot doing farming for materials. Okay, Mom, give me a heal. Okay, and now for the most dangerous opponent out of these trainers. This Grimer is pretty risky. If it goes for bite into... If it goes for bite and gets the chance to poison us with poison touch, that makes things pretty dangerous. But this time it looks like he doesn't feel like doing much fighting. Oh, oops. I forgot to imply that I had gotten into trouble. Okay, we're gonna leave cutoff at current XP, but we're going to get Jorts to level 11. And that's gonna be a bit annoying, but it's the smart play in my mind. The thing is, we're kind of just running down our XP wiggle room in order to make certain that we have the damage potential and stuff to deal with the first few threats. We're pretty heavily relying on getting new encounters when we run out of XP. Like here, since our hope is to take on Teacher Emily primarily with Jorts, we're running Jorts up pretty high, and Jorts might even hit Jorts might even hit level 12 by the end of that battle. But as long as we have Jorts for Elima, you know, we are not learning Leer, because Jorts can keep Growl then. Okay, welcome to the stream, Rafkin. We're back with the height lock, and we have smashed our way through another 11 attempts before we got to this one. And now for the terrifying Teacher Emily fight. I am going to get the Quick Claw while I have the chance. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and get Cutoff up to level 11 as well. I think it's the smart call. It'll take more annoying grinding, but Cutoff will more than likely wind up coming in to finish off Meowth, and the bit of extra bulk it gets from another level might be just what we need. Okay, we're at level 11. We'll heal up. Put Jorts back in the lead. And now, Teacher Emily. Here we go. There we go. I meant to put that down to normal speed before I pulled up her team. Magnemite only has Tackle and Thundershock. It should be doable as long as it doesn't crit or paralyze with Thundershock. Of course it crit. So now we could wind up in trouble. To play it safe, I'm going to go for Growl to try and nerf the Meowth. Please don't flinch. And I believe after that Growl we can survive another as long as it doesn't crit, so we'll go for another Growl. Okay, its attack is now cut in half, but since it outspeeds us, it's definitely the right call to go into cutoff. So now as long as we can get enough hits in without getting flinched. Not like that. We should only need 2 Rock Smashes, especially if the first one gets the defense drop. Okay, if we flinch here, we lose. If we don't, we win. Okay, we just lost the run. All right. Attempt number 24, here we go. And that's what I mean. We got bad luck taking a crit, and we got bad luck with flinches, and as a result, we lost. Anything like that happens early in the game here, and we're kind of just sunk. Why do I get the feeling this is a pretty garbage special attack stat? Minus special attack, or minus special attack plus special defense, we can work with that. Now please just give me another neutral natured Rowlet, or pick attack. I almost said Rowlet, but no. Sadly, we can't justify using Rowlet as our encounter here. New cutoff. You know what? We'll deal with it. Minus special defense is manageable, plus special attack will buff our echoed voice. And it's not minus speed, which is the big thing. Minus speed or minus attack on cutoff would be a pretty instant reset. Of course we got crit. Like, this game really wants to kill off cutoff before we get the chance to make it farther into the game. You know, funnily enough, I think this song made it into both my chill video game playlist and my intense video game music playlist. Because on the one hand, it's pretty chill. On the other hand, it's kind of intense. It's got a pretty aggressive beat. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a pretty good chance that we don't two-shot the Pichu in this upcoming How fight. Oh, and there's a Pichu. You want to see these playlists? Unfortunately, I'm not prepared to screen share them specifically. Not at the moment. Most of the songs are just... In fact, practically all of the songs have just been the stuff that we've listened to on stream during the various Pokemon streams, because, well, since I play on speed up, I can't have the in-game music running here. Maybe at some point. And now, off for the how-to match. Get our free heal. And we'll see how this goes. We have absolutely no control at this stage of the run. Not even exaggerating when I say that. Practically anything goes wrong. Anything could be that one thing that messes up the run bad enough that we wind up in a reset. The animations were taking too long. Do a quick snooze, regain our health, and we're on our way. So much fun button mashing. The funny thing is, I really do enjoy these challenges, but it isn't, like, it's genuinely very frustrating when I wind up stuck resetting over and over again at the start, just trying to get off to a decent beginning. I always get caught on that sign. I keep overshooting. There we go. Now we can beat up the child's bug. I'm sorry, your Metapod will never get to be a Butterfree. I have killed it. Funnily enough, this kind of music is actually what I used to study to back in college. If my concentration was struggling to the point where... See, I'm weird. Normally, I actually favor a bit more distracting background noise. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just that I know I'm going to get distracted, so I might as well enjoy it. It's a bit of a dumb explanation, but it might be how it was working. You know, I just tended to study fairly distracted, but when that wasn't working, I would go and find some old video game music, like this, and that worked pretty well. Honestly, I don't know if I would have survived through college had I not been naturally quick while doing my work, because I couldn't focus on it for extended periods. That's the ADHD. I couldn't ever focus on my homework for extended periods, so it's a good thing that I could make do with a short period, because that was all I was ever gonna get. Okay, we can zip on up to level 10. Then we'll finish clearing through the trainers in the trainer school. Exactly, Jay. But there are a lot of good options for video game music that well, yeah, that's true. Hey, it's the newest addition to the playlist. This is the Rogueport theme from Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I think I might add a few more Paper Mario options to the playlist. Sometimes, especially if I'm if I was kind of tired, I found that it wasn't a good idea for me to have relaxing stuff like lo-fi style stuff on if I was listening, because that would just put me to sleep, and I already had enough trouble staying awake while doing my homework in the last chunk of high school. My own fault. I had terrible sleeping habits that I could have avoided had I managed my own time better, but well, what are you gonna do? It was like 2-3 years ago now, almost. I can't remember when I graduated college. Okay, we'll go ahead and give our Quick Claw to Jorts. Heal up the team. But yeah, sometimes I needed something that would be like good background noise, but also kind of able to put me on edge. And I found some songs like Gerudo Desert were really good for that. Okay, so this is a pretty dangerous fight. I gotta pay attention to what's happening. If we can manage to avoid... Okay. The big danger in this is that he opens with Bite and gets poison, and poisons us with Poison Touch at the same time. At this point, I don't think he has enough damage to take us out before we finish him. There we go. Maybe if he had crit. But even then, I think we could have gone into Jorts. And we would have been fine. Okay, imply that I'm a bit of a bad boy. And then go heal. Now in this run, we are going to continue to test the theory that suggests that the game checks your lead Pokemon and skews encounter odds to reflect whatever has the best matchup into your lead Pokemon. We were calling it gaming Murphy's Law last time, and it was working out pretty well. So we're going to see how much mileage we can get out of it this time. That said, we do have to steamroll through quite a few Pokemon in order to get Jorts ready for the match. Yeah. I am kind of scared that our luck may have run pretty dry by this point, because we've had 2 runs in a row where we got Carbink in 10 Carat Hill. And I just don't see the odds being great that we get it a 3rd time. Because it's not the most common encounter, even among just the stuff that we can get in this area. Or in that area. I just have a good feeling that we're going to do okay against Teacher Emily this round. Of course, there's a pretty reasonable chance that I've jinxed it, but... No, I kind of have to hope because I have nothing else. Let's go, Teacher Emily. Okay. A crit or a paralysis would both be bad here. From Magnemite, obviously. If we had managed to crit Magnemite, that would have been fine. If we had managed to crit, or to paralyze Magnemite, that would have required me to check the source code because that's not possible. For multiple reasons. Okay. We need to dodge a couple of flinches. Get off a couple of growls. So, we took 7 damage just now from Bite. Meaning a crit bite will do about 10 or 11. If we can dodge one more flinch, 11 damage from a crit bite. Luckily we did dodge the flinch, so now we've cut its attack to -2. We should have a somewhat decent chance at taking it out with cutoff. We can take a decent number of non-critical hits. So now it all depends on flinch chances. Should be a 2 KO with Rock Smash. Of course, this had to be the one generation where the basic bird doesn't get quick attack. Okay. We're through Teacher Emily. And we're going to press forward a little ways. Do some button mashing. Once it's time for us to get our next encounter, we'll need to save, quit, and adjust the time. Okay, so we get a Poke Finder, which, as we found out during attempt 11, is actually a required thing for doing the ghost trial. Ignore the tutorial. Anyway, we get a lens case, and now we get the one important item that we can pick up in this town right now. The Silk Scarf. Okay. Now, we're on to encounter number 3, so we'll save. And then we're just going to restart the emulation because I think when it resyncs with my system clock, it will realize that it's daytime. So, lead cut off because we got a little bit more wiggle room there. And because I kind of want to bait the game into maybe giving me a Pichu encounter. It's not going to because it hates me, but... oh, that's just about the worst encounter we could have gotten here. Ah, that's frustrating. Oh well. At the very least, Wingull has water resistance to potentially be used against Smeargle, but even then it's so frail that I think the odds of it surviving a hit are practically none. Oh well. Yeah. The hope was for either Yungoos or Pichu. Of course it broke out. And that frailty is the reason that I didn't want this thing. I mean, it gives us a usable dupe for later on in the run, but that's about it. We don't need more flying and water types in this. Alright, I guess you can be board shorts. Okay, that makes our... that instantly makes our Elima fight a little bit less reliable. Hang on, we're gonna handle this a little bit differently. Would you look at that? Wouldn't you know it? Well, looks like we have to restart the emulator, and wouldn't you know it, that happened just as it was turning to nighttime. The reason we're doing that is so that we can get Rattata encounters over in this grass, because Rattata gives speed EVs, whereas Young Goose gives attack EVs. If we want board shorts to be even remotely useful, it's going to come through speed. Moment we're only beating up the Caterpie and the Rattata that we come across. And we gotta push this thing up to level 10 or maybe 11. I haven't even checked what nature or ability this thing has, because honestly it really doesn't matter that much. We'll do our best to get use out of it. That's about the best I can promise, because frankly there were just so many better encounters at this stage. Actually no, there weren't, but there were two that I would have had an actual immediate use for. Doesn't help that this thing is a bit on the slower side of XP curves. And we run into a shiny Rattata. I think during attempts at this run, this is the second shiny Rattata, so we'll catch it, we can't use it, we'll dump it in the box real quick. I won't even nickname it, but I like catching shiny Pokemon when I come across them, what can I say? That time for you? Well, thanks for hanging out while you could, Jay. Hopefully this Jorts will manage to carry on into the later game. If so, next time you come back, you might be able to see them. Also, Pog for shiny. Oh, I almost battled that Pick-a-Pack-Goose. Yeah, it took me so many years to get my first shiny. But now it's kind of whatever because I'm not willing to go through all the effort to catch all of them. I just grab the ones that I come across. Story time. During the original height lock, I actually came across a shiny that was a legal encounter. Well, it was a Pokemon that I could have caught had I not already gotten a Pokemon in that area, similar to this. It was a Ducklet. I named him Farquaad, and he was the Team Fly user and Surf user, if I recall correctly. Because I didn't want to leave him behind. He was the kind of unofficial mascot of that run. Okay, we're almost up to level 9. That should be level 9, yes. So, minus defense nature is pretty awful. Oh, and I didn't even check the ability hydration. So if we were allowed to evolve this thing, it would eventually have Drizzle. But we're not, so it won't. Someday I will set things up to capture games that I'm playing on my Wii, and then I'll fire up Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. We'll do a run there. Probably a challenge run because I've played that game so many times that I feel like the only way I'll be able to make it interesting for y'all is to do a challenge run. Like, I'll enjoy it regardless. I am always happy to go back to Thousand Year Door. But I feel like I'd want to spice it up a bit to make it not just me following along with a game that I've played several times. Strangely enough, only finished it twice. That just has to do with the fact that the final few bosses are way harder than anything else you've encountered in the game up to that point. So the first time I made it to those final bosses, I can't exactly say soft locked, but like, I would have had to fight my way back through massive amounts of enemies in order to get anywhere that I could actually train up for the fight. And it just didn't feel worth it. I'm better at the game now because that was when I was like 12. I didn't mean to wing attack there, I meant to water gun, but... But yeah, there's a bit of a boss gauntlet at the end, and if you can't beat what I would essentially consider 4 different bosses in a row, then you're kind of in a bad situation. And you're in a worse situation if you can't beat them and you don't think you've got the resources to get back out. The saving in TTYD is the same system as it was in Paper Mario 64. Meaning you save at the different save blocks, and if you die, you just respawn back at your last save. So unfortunately, it is possible to stick yourself in a situation where it's pretty hard to get out. And in hindsight, I definitely could have done it, but Small Umbreon was kind of accurately iffy on his gaming skills. And wasn't prepared to undergo that challenge, so as a result, here we are. Unfortunately, we do have to kind of overdo it on our prep for Alima, because after Alima we get access to another encounter, another 2 encounters before the totem fight, and one of those encounters is pretty much our ace in the hole for dealing with the totem fight. But getting past Alima is, in my opinion, a good bit harder than getting through the totem fight, so we kind of just have to do what it takes to maximize our odds. And in this case, that means trying to get our 3 Pokemon properly prepped for Alima and getting them pretty high level. At some point, we'll stop back by the Pokemon Center to drop our shiny in the box forever. There's no point in adding an extra trip when we will be going that way at some point. This is the pretty obvious downside to having a special attacker at this point in the game. It's really difficult to find something to train up against. So the only special attack training options that I can think of are the Magnemite in the trainer's school, which A, can have sturdy, and B, have an advantage into most of the other special attackers in the game by that point, making it pretty dangerous to try and train up against them, if not outright, like, life ending as it would be for board shorts. And then Abra, back in Howley City, which, first of all, higher level, makes it harder to deal with, and harder to gain a bunch of EVs against, and is fast and has the move Teleport, meaning it could just disappear before we finish it off. Even if our special attacker is faster, unless we can one-shot it, Abra are a bit of a pain to train against. Have a few wing attacks left, then we'll have to go visit Mom. Oops, I forgot to set the playlist to loop. Let's see, let's go to Goron City. And refresh the page because it's not even letting me click the loop button. Okay, we're up to a pretty good level. We're gonna take care of the Team Skull fight. And our little shiny Rattata is going in the box. And we'll rename our graveyard while we're at it. Now, Cutoff is the best matchup into the Team Skull Zubat. Code voice TM. And here's the harbor, and here's Alima. Okay, and this should be pretty free. guessing 2 echoed voices, especially with the Silk Scarf boost, should finish this off. Go ahead, pivot through board shorts. And you know what, we'll even bring Jorts in just to get that extra bit of experience on him so he doesn't have to deal with grinding. It'll save us a little bit of time. And now we mash B to refuse to battle Ilima right away. Maybe I shouldn't always get my encounter here. Maybe that'll be my next way of gaming luck. Then again, hopefully I never have to make that decision. Best case scenario, we'd never see Ilima again. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit tricky here. I think our best bet is trying to get one Pokemon set up and saving another Pokemon for if we can't make that work. If we wind up in a bad situation, we can abort one setup and attempt another, which could stretch out the match, but it only will if we wind up starting to get some bad luck on our damage and stuff. We will want to see who is faster, Cut Off or Jorts. Okay, so Cut Off got to 21 speed. Jorts. How fast are you? You're at 23 speed, so Jorts is the more reliable setup option. Just because Jorts has a chance of maybe outspeeding Smeargle. I'm really not sure how big that chance is, but go ahead, teach Jort's workup in place of Leer. And we'll teach Cutoff workup in place of... Oh, there are reasons to consider all of these, but I don't think any of them will actually matter that much. I'm pretty sure we get Brick Break before we'll miss Rock Smash, so... You know what? We will drop Rock Smash in exchange for workup. Oh. And yeah, as much as I don't really want to, we will go ahead and train Board Shorts up to level 12 as well. Board Shorts will want that extra bit of bulk to help deal with the young goose. It's a pity that Board is as frail as it is, because I'm pretty sure it's already faster than the other two, even being a level behind. But you know what's more of a pity? That we didn't get Pichu. Yeah, there's not much to add here. Just have to be as prepared as we possibly can. And hope that we make it through this Elima fight. The fact that we're pushing all the way to the level cap this far before the totem fight should be a big indicator of how much I want to escape the early game purgatory here. So itchy today. Things I suffered through. the challenges that I face. You know the weird thing about Pokemon games? I feel like they genuinely intend for like the main strategy to simply be over-leveling. Like, there are a couple of games that give you ways to get an edge against a tough challenge, but in most of the cases, Pokemon games just expect you to over-level. They expect you to kill off the local wild Pokemon population by running back and forth in grass. Obviously, they expect me to be doing this in Howley City right now instead of over here in the lowest level grass patch of Route 1. But that aside, they very much expect you... Okay, if I were to describe what I think the intended strategy for Pokemon is, it would be this. Each time you get an area, you go into a patch of grass looking for encounters, and you try to catch every new encounter in that patch of grass. You use that to train up your main team, maybe a couple other Pokemon, as you go through. Then you go ahead and take on all of the random trainers standing around, and then after you've done that, you move on to the next area. The trick is, that's not really the most fun way to play Pokemon in most cases. They intend for that so that you have a lot of Pokemon and you've got a lot of options, including at least one or two options that are decent in each area. Yeah, look at that speed. Board is 30. Oh, and we can make use of Mist. Let's see real quick. As much as I want Growl on this thing, I think Mist is supersonic. So Mist is technically useful into the Alima fight. Okay, so let's talk strategy for the Alima fight. For a second there I was wondering why, like, OBS was saying that I've been streaming for over 5 hours, but no, it's just because I fiddled with the time earlier. So, let's talk Alima. He has 2 Pokemon. And a Yungoos and a Smeargle. His Smeargle, because we chose Litten as our starter, will have the move Water Gun as its primary stab. Or as its primary coverage. And it will have Tackle regardless of who we chose. Now, its damage stats are pretty bad, but I do believe that it has the ability Technician, which makes it a little bit more dangerous. So, first battle in Sun and Moon. Player chose Litten. Yeah, it has Technician, which makes it a bit dangerous, because that'll boost the power of its Tackle and Water Gun by 50%. That said, it is sitting down at level 10. So with our 2 levels of advantage, we have a decent enough chance to take it on. Looks like it's packing max attack and special attack EVs, and a hasty nature, 31 speed IVs. So it is pretty hard to outrun this thing. On the other hand, the Yungoos has maximized its defenses, has an adamant nature. So, more or less how I plan to do this. Is that we lead with Cutoff. Cutoff will start setting up growls against the lead Yungoos. If we take a couple of stat drops, we'll switch into Board to shake them off, and Board can start setting up growls. Then, once 6 growls are set up and it's time for Jorts to come in, we want Board to come in and set up Mist in order to prevent Jorts from getting his defense dropped. Let's go. Now all of this does depend on dodging a fair number of crits, which is frustrating. But 1 or 2 crits early on should still be livable. And thankfully it doesn't have the ability Stakeout. Okay, so we're going to switch in Board because we've taken a couple of stat drops. It'll still do a lot because board has the defenses of a wet paper bag. So that's 4 growls. It's at a third of its original offense. It's 5. That's 6. And there is a reason that I haven't switched out yet. It's because if we should risk a crit with anyone, it should be board shorts. Okay, so now we've set up Mist. That'll give Jorts 3 turns to set up workups before its defenses can be cut. So as long as we dodge crits for the next 3 turns, we're clear. That's 2. That's 3. So that's as many boosts as we can afford to get. And we did manage to dodge all of the crits. So now we just gotta hope. We have to hope that we can bring these guys down fast enough, and that isn't promising. It might have actually been worth it to redo our plans to try and win this with cutoff. Knock us into... Okay, we are going to pivot in board shorts, who will probably go down to a single hit, but that'll give us a clear... I hate you so much. Okay, luckily we might outspeed. Yeah, we do. Board shorts is fast. If we can get off 2 tackles, that would be or 2 growls, that would be ideal. Okay, board goes down, but that's manageable. Cut off, you're up. We won't outspeed. But I'm thinking maybe 3 echoed voices. Okay, if this isn't a 2-shot, then we're done for, but I think that's just enough. As long as we don't get crit here, I think our next echoed voice will finish it up. Okay, we made it through Alima without using either of our better options. Now the downside, obviously, is that we just lost one of our 3 Pokemon, which is a bit annoying. We can manage. We can keep going from here. We might have been able to save that. We might have been able to get out of that deathless if, when we didn't one-shot Young Goose with Ember, I had gone ahead and swapped back into Cutoff. Or swapped back into Board Shorts, set up another Mist, and then brought Cutoff in. Oh, one thing that we need to do real quick before I forget. We need repels. And I'll take 7 extra Pokeballs as well. Because now we've officially made it to the stage where we have some wiggle room and moderately okay odds into a couple of matches. We just need to be smart through this next bit, which, you know, doesn't play to my skill set, but we're going to try anyway. Route 2. So the first trainer up here, I can't recall what she's carrying. She has a Ghastly. Level 9 Ghastly, which is pretty intimidating. Cutoff is our best bet because the only thing it'll be able to do to us is use like Hypnosis and Spite and Mean Look. It can't damage us, so eventually we'll get enough attacks in despite potential sleep turns to get through. Besides, Cutoff has a little bit more wiggle room before the next level cap, which is kind of important because we got a lot of experience prepping for Alima, and that leaves us with a lot less wiggle room for the next couple of stages. So, first things first, we avoid all the grass on this route. We're going to come over here to the cemetery. It looks like it has to be daytime for us to encounter Drifloon, so let's drop a quick save and do a quick bit of time traveling. And yes, we want to be leading with Jorts. Just because Jorts' XP isn't as important in this next bit, since Jorts won't be used for the totem fight, more than likely. Plus, Jorts is faster. Come on, where's my balloon? There you are. You beautiful balloon. Use a quick Ember, because that shouldn't be able to KO. One more, because even a crit won't KO. Now, toss a Pokeball. There we go. Okay, so Jorts has over-leveled. We're going to have to box Jorts. Luckily, with Drawstring on the team now, we have a bit more wiggle room. And we were able to get Drawstring without over-leveling Cutoff. So, Jorts, you gotta go in the box for the moment. And let's take a look at your deal, Drawstring. Plus speed, minus special defense. The minus defense is annoying, but we can still make use of it. And besides, we're past the point where we can just casually reload a save. So we are going to go and get a level or two on Drawstring. And that'll mostly be against wild Caterpies and the occasional Ledyba. So we want to get our HP and defenses up. Drawstring is best as a defensive Pokemon, in my experience. I think we'll only go to level 10 for the moment. So on the next route, I'm hoping to get a specific encounter. And if we don't get lucky enough to get that encounter, I'm actually going to fiddle around with some time travel shenanigans to see if I can make it turn up. Because it's the berry tree encounter. See, if we could get Crabrawler, that would pretty much make... that would make the totem fight coming up almost completely free, with basically no risk. So that's what we're gunning for right now. Let me double check my height lock notes. Okay, yeah. Apart from the berries, there's really nothing specific that we need to deal with. Okay, what's this kid packing? Preschooler Caleb has a Spearow, level 8. That's at least a little bit worrisome because it does have Pursuit. But I don't think we have the room on Cutoff. You know what? I think we do, actually. So I'd like to keep Cutoff as a backup option into the totem fight, since Cutoff can learn Brick Break. Get the Brick Break TM just before the fight. So, now we have to deal with some Team Skull Grunts, but the only, well, one Team Skull Grunt. But this thing only has one normal type move, so it literally can't damage me or affect me in any way. Okay, we got some berries. Okay, now there is a moving... There's a backpacker pacing back and forth somewhere just up here. Okay. See that rustling grass? So, we're going to use a repel. How high level can that be? Now, unfortunately, there's a chance that rustling grass dumps a young goose on us, which would be pretty annoying. Okay, we made it past. I'm pretty sure had we gone anywhere close to that thing, it would have jumped us. But now we are in the clear. What do you sell? And now our hope is just that there is a whatchamacallit, Crabrawler in this pile of berries. There is, yes. I think that's scripted. I think the first time you check that pile of berries, there's always a Crabrawler, but I couldn't prove it if you asked me to, so astonish. But getting this not only means that we can safely walk through the grass in this route, but it means that we have pretty much a guaranteed win into the totem fight coming up. Because we're doing this with Drifloon, we are immune to its Rock Smash, which means all it can do to us is Bubble. So with that, I think we'll be able to power through the first totem fight before calling it a day. It's just getting the run off the ground. And of course, Crabrawler is going to be boxer shorts. Oh, and we got a decent berry. Citrus, Chesto, Person. Leppa, wow. I thought we got capped at 3 berries from those things, actually. Anyway. It'll take a second. I forgot you were here. Luckily, we're a pretty good matchup into Cutiefly. Oh, I didn't. Jeez. Hell, that's one way to get our Pokemon to the level cap. Just accidentally run into 2 optional trainers. Let's see. What's that last trainer on here carrying? Because it might be worth it to just clear them out of the way. Lass Isabella has a Misdreavus. Okay, we're not fighting her. Because we would lose with only Crabrawler. Anyway, Crabrawler, time for you to come and gain some XP. Fighting, well, mainly Yungoos and Pikapek, to come to think of it. So we've got Hyper Cutter, so our attack can't be dropped. That's a bit worse than Iron Fist, but I don't think either of them is likely to come up, since I don't think Brick Break is affected by Iron Fist, and it's our best stab move for most of the time that we'll be using Boxer. So yeah, we'll get up to level 11. Then we'll go and clear out the trial Pokemon. And then, actually, I'm gonna save real quick. And fix the time. This will just give us a chance to run into a few Rattata. For some speed EVs. Dang it, that thing had an Oranberry. I would have actually really appreciated if my Pick-a-Peck had an Oranberry. Which honestly might be even more worth resetting for than to get a decent nature, because an Oranberry would actually make so much difference in the Teacher Emily fight or the Alima fight. Just a little bit more training will be good to dive into the island trial. Okay, we're up to level 11. That'll do for the moment. Since we accidentally cleared out the enemies along here, oh, except that guy. That guy is pretty scary, if I'm honest. He's got a Butterfree. A level 10 Butterfree with Gust and Confusion. That would be disastrous for us to fight. Oh, real quick, what ability does Drawstring have? Aftermath, of course. Oh well, it mostly runs a Violite anyway. Let's go. So, we have to take out the 2 Yungoos and 1 Gumshoes. I have healed up. Okay, heal up. Boxer, you learn Brick Break. Cut Off, you can learn Brick Break. Now for this. And Brick Breaking through that Yungoos is a piece of cake. And now we're going to lead with Drawstring. To pick up that item. Okay, and now as we head back, we'll be jumped by Team Skull. I keep accidentally telling them that I remember them. And I mean, I as the player do, because they're in the notes about the trial. That's it, but yeah, my character definitely doesn't. Okay, let's check and make sure that my team is all up at full health, but I think they are. Okay, yep, they're all at full health. We will give an Oranberry to Cut Off in place of the Silk Scarf. Now that he's stepped aside, we could back out and go and train more, but there's really not a need, because all of our Pokemon are already up to level. Like, there's nothing else we can do to prepare. So let's just watch the cutscene and fight the Totem Gumshoos. Now, it does get a +1 defense buff based on its aura, but we still do a good bit of damage. I really thought we would do more damage than that, actually. There's always a chance that we get a crit here, so we'll go for another Brick Break. Oh, or just a high roll. I'll take it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and drop Rock Smash for Pursuit. Okay, so even a crit from this thing won't kill us. So we can afford a single Brick Break. And we could actually afford another. And there goes by far the simplest totem fight that we will have. Okay, we got 10 Great Balls. Now, we do need to take care of a couple of things. I'm gonna go ahead and lead Cutoff and give Cutoff back that Silk Scarf. One thing that we need to do before we leave here, in order to maximize our encounters, is we want to repel until we reach a dust cloud and lock in a Yungoos encounter. Because there's somewhere else where the only encounter we get is Diglett, so getting an Alolan Diglett right here would effectively cut down our encounter count by 1. I'm just double checking to make sure. Yeah, repel to Dust Cloud. And we are high enough level for this repel to work, right? Verdant Cavern, the highest level they hit is 11. And just like that, we get a Yungoos encounter. We've locked it in. And I'm just gonna chuck a Pokeball. Fine. Oh, really? Okay, it didn't get help at least. Oh, I have 15 Great Balls? When did that happen? Why am I chucking Pokeballs? Really? Would you stop? Thank you, you just ate like 4 of my Great Balls. No, don't learn Supersonic, it's a lousy move. And you can be beige shorts. So what's your deal, beige? Strong jaw ability, that's pretty good once we get bite. That'll give us a strong dark type move. Plus defense is usable, minus special defense will probably wind up being annoying. Oh, we got a citrus berry. And Alima shows us his incredible authority. By having a fence opened. And I think that's going to be where we call it for the night, because, well, you know what, we can go a little bit longer. We have a couple more encounters that we can get, and I think we're already high enough level not to have too much to worry about with Route 3. North exit, Route 3. Now there's a pretty wide variety of encounters that we could wind up getting on Route 3. The best one is Cutie Fly, which, hang on. What notes do I have for Route 3? First Grass Patch avoids Bagon, and if we do it during the day, we avoid Alolan Rattata as well. Though Alolan Rattata is good for one dangerous fight coming up, I'd rather maximize my chances of getting Cutie Fly. More than likely we just wind up with Spearow or Mankey, but, you know, we can hope. So, lead Boxer for this to try and bait in the Cutie Fly, though unfortunately that also kind of baits in the Spearow. Oh. Save. And adjust the time. There are a couple of trainers here, so we'll want to be pretty careful. There's a trainer back along here. Yep, that guy. right here in this grass patch will be our next encounter. Okay, it's a young goose. We already have one, so we can skip it. Yes! Yes! What moves does this have? I don't want to risk Boxer to a random crit. Fairy Wind could do a decent amount of damage. You know what? We will swap in Drawstring to play it safe. And Drawstring can use Astonish to get a little bit of chip on it. Not much. I doubt it can take many. It can take one more. Oh, thank goodness it didn't call a friend, because then this could have gotten really hard. And just like that, we got a little fly. You know what? Since it's a little fly, it's going to be zipper shorts. I realize that probably isn't a technical type of shorts, but you know what? It works. This is zipper. I could have added a couple extra Z's there since it's a B, but let's take a look at zipper. Shield dust ability, yes! Meh nature, but honestly, I'll take what I can get. This thing removes one potential encounter from Melee Meadow. Okay. So, yeah, looks like How's Rowlet is level 14. And this guy's got a Growlithe, probably. Oh no, this is the guy with the Psyduck. Luckily, Boxer is at least a tiny bit OP for this stage of the game. Like, he won't help it. He won't give us an easy win against a lot of the difficult trainers and their Pokemon, but at the very least, Brick Break does a lot of damage. That's about it. That's all that's happening here. So we'll clear some stuff out of the way, get our Verdant Cave encounter. Or, no, we won't. Sorry, my brain's struggling to put what I'm planning to do into words. We're going to loop around here. Oh, almost get caught into a battle that we didn't really particularly want to be in. Grab the Sharp Beak. And that's actually it. That is our run. That's what we're doing. That's all we're going to do for today. We've gotten off to a decent start. We've gotten lucky with a couple of, with one encounter. Having Cutiefly locked in will give us better odds into Melee Meadow. Yeah. It gives us our best chance of getting either Cottony or Oricorio. Sadly, there is still a risk of getting Caterpie. I think Metapod is too tall. Yeah. So there is still a risk of getting Caterpie, unfortunately, which is always worrisome, but there's nothing we can really do about that. Both Cottony and Oricorio have their uses. Cottony pretty much guarantees us the win against the Totem Wishy-Washy on the next island. Oricorio would save us a lot of worry in the next several encounters. Because if we don't get Oricorio, then we have to do kind of a roundabout, kind of a circuitous route to try and lock in as many dupes as we can to maximize our odds of getting Oricorio on Route 6 after the water type trial in order to be ready for the grass type trial. But with all that aside, I think we're in a pretty good place so far. We've got a pretty good matchup into a lot of the upcoming fights, because now we have both Cutoff, who will learn Pluck before then, and Zipper, who walls just about everything Hala can throw at us. We are also going to be able to get a Diglett from Seaward Cave, which is why we wanted to avoid getting Diglett in Verdant Cavern, because we could quickly guarantee it. And that Seaward Cave Diglett will help us can potentially help us against How's Pikachu, so it's a whole thing. We're in a stage of the game where a lot of stuff can snowball. I am going to go ahead between streams, add in some candies, some berries, all that stuff, just to get everything prepped and ready for the next stage. Because now we're at the point where we can farm some berries, including orange berries and citrus berries, which are the most important ones at the moment. And because we can farm berries, we technically have an infinite source of money, so we have the time, so I can go ahead and add in some valuable item that we can sell off for money. So yeah, there's stuff happening now that'll speed things along. We just have to be careful for the next little while to try and get the right Pokemon and not be dumb into any of these battles. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. We've had a bunch of good Pokemon join our team. Oh. Dang it, I want to switch to a view that emphasizes the team, but I think this is the best I can do with the preset options. Thanks everyone for hanging out. It's been a grind. It's been very grindy, but we're past Ilima, we're past the first trial. This is the part of the game where, as long as we're smart about how we handle stuff, we have a pretty good chance of getting through the next several fights without losing anyone important. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Thanks for hanging out, thanks for chatting and lurking, And I hope to see you next time. Later, folks.